So, one of the things I feel important when we're doing a shoot is to make sure that the client, person I'm going to be taking pictures of, if they have any ideas, to get the ideas of what they want. We're going to be looking at a couple of different examples here, but let's take this for an example. Let's say you were a bodybuilder who had a newborn. Now, you've seen lots of people do bicep curls. Some do it with weights. What if your bicep curl was with the baby in your arm? So, depending on your preferences and your life, is how we design the shoot. Now, what you're seeing here is a application. For some reason, I keep calling it Milanote. I know some people call it Milanote. Um, the reason I like using this application is it allows me to send a link to you, and you can see what I'm thinking about, get an idea for what we could do, make comments on it. We can make changes and things so that there's no surprises the day of the shoot. It's not to say we shouldn't or we couldn't come up with something cool on the day of the shoot, but this allows us to bounce around some ideas and to make sure that we capture the important parts of the shoot that we want to get. So in this case, where we started out was she saw the silhouette shot of a woman with this silk material. So I took a look around at other female shots with that material. Here they used it as a backlight to soften the light hitting her. You've got it where it's just wrapped and hanging. So I found lots of different ideas of what we could do for the shoot. But then a thought occurred to me as I was looking at the logistics of this. I was a little concerned about um, any material actually being able to hold someone up. So I found a hanging net chair. It's a really cool thing. You can see it right here. And once I saw that a chair hammock, it made me think of fishing nets and mermaids. So I started looking at some ideas about mermaids. I went looking for props and I came up with a mermaid tail and the chair. And of course, the chair has to have a stand. So it's got a wooden board across here that goes up in a triangular format at the top to hold, and you've got the chair itself. So I could put padding in there to make her feel comfortable, which could be hidden by the tail, and we'd have a pregnant mermaid. It also allowed me to create a mood board, which was basically kind of a dark, silhouetted um, mermaid. So that's one of the ideas that I had for maternity. But that wasn't the only idea that I had for a shoot. So, for example, we could look at a female portrait. So, looking at things that are feminine when it comes to a portrait. Now, these are things that are considered traditionally feminine. Arms kind of loose, not at right angles, bit with the uh, thumb, very light, a little bit on the blurry side, so it's not really sharp type of photographs. And I can use this as a springboard for someone to figure out what they want to see. But there are other um, types that we could do as well. These are stronger poses for a woman to have. You notice they're very similar in appearance. At least these first set are here, the way the woman is standing. Woman looking up and smiling kind of falls in between. It's more the way she's got her arms than anything else. Same here, that right angle of the arm, looking square in at the camera, shot from a little below. Again, that square arm looking straight on. So that solid eye contact as well as the stance that the woman has. Fitness a little bit differently. So you can see that I was putting together a men and women's board. This is just basic ideas for fitness, not necessarily bodybuilding. So you won't see a lot of bodybuilding on the woman's side. You'll see some, but the old classic kind of like strongman pose from an old circus poster, for example. This empowered pose with him pointing upward. You got the fitness either by running or looking more yoga-like, jump rope. Now we're starting to get into more bodybuilding type for a woman. A man looking, again, off to the side, which I'm not a big fan of. I like the pose here, but what I don't like about it is the fact that I can't see his face. It is a good pose to show off his muscularity. Might want to get the shirt out of the way so we can see the entire package for that. Over here, just a woman in yoga. Of course, Arnold got that strong pose looking square onto the camera. And you can see how ripped he is. Again, a couple of more. We've got the possibility of doing a workout and having the picture taken during the workout for these two. Again, like the pose as being able to capture his tattoo. Don't like the fact that they cut off his head. Again, here, kind of a simple pose, something that pretty much everybody would do. Same here with the yoga pose. Some of these are from ads, like this one specifically, where you can see what they envisioned for an ad poster. Don't like the way it was cut off. Don't like the cut off at the knees, the cut off hand, the cut off elbow. So some of these would make a good conversation starter. Like this one. If I'm going to shoot you from the back and you're going to have your arms out, why can't I see the back muscles? Why is that shirt in the way? Same here. He's got a good pose. Let's get that out of the way so we can see the abdominal muscles. Here you can see what I'm talking about. She's got a good set of abdominal muscles. Pulls up the shirt so they can be shown off. Again, he's got a couple of weights. You wouldn't want somebody to have to be holding weights for any extended period of time. But if you could do more than hold them, if you could swing them up so that we could get that flare in the shoulders and get a couple of quick shots front and back, get that shirt the hell out of the way. Let's see that chest swell up from the effort. Let's see the back muscles and the lats start to show their definition. Again, another way of working out. She's doing a jump on a jump rope. These are more product placement type ones. In another one, again, can't see his face, shirt's in the way, and he's got a couple of weights. Let's do something with him. But again, a lot of these things are advertisement, ad placement type things. More about that and less about actually getting the picture of the bodybuilder. This is probably a gym ad. So these are the types of things that I would plan out and sit down with you and talk about. We've got a reenactment one up here where I was going to go to an event. So I was taking a look at what reenactors do, how they approach the role that they've taken on, and what specifically I wanted to capture about the lifestyle. Because it's very easy to find pictures like this in it, where they're shooting and their battle. But I wanted more than that. I wanted to make sure that I captured the reenactors doing what they do best. And that's not just the battles. That's making sure that everything around them looks and feels realistic. It's important to them. A lot of them make their own clothing, which is also important. I wanted to make sure that I showcased that as well and make sure that I understood what I was going to go shoot from the perspective of a reenactor. Now, this one was basically just thinking about a group and not an individual. Like I said, when I started doing these, she had a goal. So my client had an idea of what she wanted to capture. I modified that because I was much more comfortable having her in something that I knew was solid and wasn't so flimsy looking. Sheer material is good. I don't think I would want to risk a client on an artistic shot for any reason. To me, those artistic shots are great, and but these are also, to me, wonderful pregnancy shots. And while I think that first one's very cool, as I look at it and I think of how the weight's distributed, I don't think it's going to be comfortable here or here. And what's actually going to hold it up? So sometimes you come up with an idea and it just, from a logistics standpoint, looks problematic. Now, it's quite possible, considering the shape of her body, that there was something here that was cushioning her so they could get the shot, but still have her supported, which was a little bit more than I wanted to do for a setup that I was basically going to use once. But again, it comes down to working with the person that you're going to shoot to make sure that everything that they want is captured. If That means going through poses, um, taking a look at competition photos or competition videos to go see what we want to capture, what body parts are most important for you to have captured. That's where all this comes into play. This is an electronic board, so it pops up on my phone. We can make sure that we've captured all of the stuff that we want to capture. We've got time, we can move on to other things, but it also makes sure that we've captured what we wanted to capture, that we move through it quickly because everybody's time is valuable and we don't want to take up too much time doing the shoot. It's not to say we couldn't have a lot of fun and get carried away, which is the other reason we try to plan out the shoot, to make sure that we stick to a given amount of time, which is fair to everybody involved. Just like you don't want your have to wait in a doctor's waiting room when you have an appointment. Want to make sure that we get in, we get the shots, we get all the shots that you're looking for, probably 300 or 400 of them. We've figured out what we want to get. We get it all designed up front. Maybe we bound some new ideas that just happen to come up while we're doing it. And then we get it shot and we're in, we're out, and everybody can get on with their day. And I can get on to retouching them so I can show you what fantastic photographs we have of you. So that's a little behind the scenes on what I do when it comes to planning out these events. I hope you find this helpful. By the way, just to let you know, I'm moving my lives over to Wednesday nights. Figured Monday's too close to the weekend. Friday, definitely too close to the weekend. So I wanted to give everybody an opportunity to see the lives. So they will now be moving to Wednesday at 7 p.m. I hope to see you then.